if I beat when I beat Dan Hooker and not get any injured, of course I'm gonna take that fight because this is title fight, and as I know now, you cannot turn down the title fight.
Проблем нет ни с кем, ни с Илией, ни с Хукером, ни с кем. Так что со всеми могу пересесть и поговорить.
I'm the next on the lane. Have to give me title fight because number one contender beat again the top fighter and main event. So they already know they have to give it to me.
Right after his clash with Dan Hooker, Arman Tsarukyan has made it clear that he's ready to face Ilia Topuria, confident that this is the moment he's been preparing for. Right out of the gate, Tsarukyan made it clear that this showdown carries emotional weight far beyond the cage. The rivalry has sparked pride on both sides, with national support surging from Armenia and Georgia alike. These stakes are huge for Tsarukyan as he steps toward a moment that could redefine his legacy.
I mean, of course, Georgian people wants to be him champion, and Armenian people wants to be me a champion. And in Georgia, a lot of Armenian people live there. My old relatives live there. Yeah, and maybe 10-15% from Georgian people, they want to see me a champion too.
Tsarukyan's own comments about his readiness and focus set the stage for a discussion on how his next performance could reshape the entire lightweight landscape. Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman emphasized that these marquee matchups should not be rushed, especially when Tsarukyan's grappling could be the real test Ilia still has not faced. A potential clash between them is already gaining intrigue.
We got Islam Makhachev versus Kamaru Usman at 155 pounds. Depending on what Arman Tsarukyan is able to do to Dan Hooker, he could be next for that damn title. And you know what happens? Both weight classes move on, and as time moves on, or whatever it is that happens, then they can come and meet for a super fight. But you don't want a super fight that's too premature, man, because we also have to see Ilia Topuria get challenged with a little bit of that grappling. And you know who's going to do that? Arman Tsarukyan. Because that's the way to see it, man. Because we go back and think of 170 pounds, Kamaru.
The conversation then turned to what Tsarukyan must do to earn that position, with Usman acknowledging that Dan Hooker remains a dangerous spoiler. His talent has never been questioned, and a statement win would solidify him on the shortlist. Meanwhile, Ilia's ideal scenario might be a striking heavy fight with Gaethje, a matchup fans have long imagined.
He did have the title shot. And then he unfortunately, whatever happened, he didn't make weight or his back went out, whatever happened, he didn't get that shot. And so now you're in a position to where you could potentially get the shot. So I do believe he's extremely talented, and I think Arman is extremely tough. I would like to see if Ilia is able to compete relatively soon. I would like to see Ilia fight Justin Gaethje, because I do think that's a banging fight, and I do think people want to see that fight. I do think two guys that are going to stand and bang, that want to stand and bang.
Cejudo added that if Tsarukyan ends his fight quickly and decisively, it complicates the timing for Ilia, who may be urged to defend his belt before chasing challenges at higher weights. Still, some believe he may be overlooking threats in his own division, and Tsarukyan's rise could force him to address unfinished business. The storyline continues to build as all three fighters circle toward pivotal decisions.
If Arman Tsarukyan goes out there and gets it done relatively quickly in impressive fashion, that kind of throws a wrench in that situation, because, and I do think it helps the case of Ilia, you need to stay down and let's defend this belt now because you are the champion here. Are you willing to stay here and defend this title? Of course, Ilia's chasing Islam, and I get it. From his perspective, when he wanted to come up, I get that. You want to take off the pound for pound best so you could take that top spot. You can now be that pound for pound best. So I get what he was trying to do.
Going forward, Arman Tsarukyan described the upcoming bout against Dan Hooker as a defining moment in his career. He stressed that the fight carries enormous significance both personally and professionally. A victory would secure his path to a title opportunity, while a loss would set him back considerably. He emphasized his intense focus and determination to make the most of this chance.
It means everything for me. If I lose, I lose everything. If I win, I win everything as well. So this is like a title fight for me, It's a 5 rounds main event, and this fight I must
win and get my title fight. It's so important fight for me, and that's why I'm focused. I'm very focused on this fight.
Tsarukyan doubled down on his urgency by stressing that his plan for Saturday is simple. He intends to deliver a decisive finish, leave no doubts about his position in the division, and roll straight into a championship bout as soon as the window opens. His mindset is locked in keeping the pace high and forcing the title opportunity to arrive without delay.
How is this all going to play out on Saturday?
I'll go there, finish him as soon as possible, and get my title fight in January or whatever it's gonna be.
Talking about his fight with Ilia, Tsarukyan made it clear that he's ready to seize opportunities without delay. If his performance impresses in the upcoming UFC bout, he's prepared to step into a fight as soon as January. His focus remains on capitalizing on momentum and moving quickly toward a title shot.
Would you rather just kind of wait and see how things play out?
No, I don't want to wait. If I perform very well and the UFC said, can you fight in January, I'll take that fight right away.
Tsarukyan is fully focused on his upcoming fight against Dan Hooker, seeing it as a critical step toward a title opportunity. He believes his past victories and experience put him in the right position, while Hooker has missed chances to prove himself against top competition. This fight is a key statement for his career trajectory.
My victory is Dan Hooker's victory. I'm not gonna let him win me, and I'm not thinking about that. He does same, we go there for the victory, but if you compare skills and who I fought, who I win, I'm in the right spot. That's why I'm a number one contender, and he lost his all opportunities with good fighters. It's Poirier.
When addressing criticisms about his image as a fighter, Tsarukyan clarified that he is motivated by genuine ambition, not attention or social media fame. He stressed that his dedication and preparation are serious, and defeating Hooker is a necessary milestone toward achieving his ultimate goal of a UFC championship.
I beat former champion UFC, and he just when I saw that, I just laughed, and because I'm a little bit different, and I have my goal that I want to achieve. It's a UFC title, and then can talk whatever he wants. It just make me laugh.
Tsarukyan discussed his approach to Ilia Topuria in a future context, noting that he has matured in his mindset and treats fights as professional challenges. While he remains calm and measured, he makes it clear that personal or family disrespect would provoke a more intense response. This focus ensures he prioritizes skill and preparation over distractions.
Dan, he never talked personal to me. If I have something on my personal thing, I would take him out from his room and talk to him. Same Ilia. So it's just business, it's just fighting, but there is a levels of trash talk. If he touch me or my family or something with bad words, but about spoiled kid, about that I understand.
On the other hand, Dan Hooker said that he never felt threatened during the face-off and actually grew more confident when they stood in front of each other. He viewed Arman's attempt to assert physical presence as ineffective and even humorous. For Dan, the moment confirmed that psychological intimidation wouldn't factor into this fight.
Do I look like a man that's easily intimidated? Nah, we had a little face-off yesterday, and it's even more confident. You stand face to face with the bloke, he extends his arms, and I'm thinking, far out.
Yeah, what'd you think there? Because I was rewatching that a few times. You give him a bit of a look towards the end, right? You're like, there was something.
Just laughed, bro. He extended his arm, and I was like, brother, that's not even halfway on me.
Yeah.
If I would have extended my arm, I would have punched him right through his head.
He mentions that outside of the formal stare-down, Arman didn't say anything to him despite claiming he would confront him. Dan emphasizes that he won't provoke a fight outside the cage because the real payday and purpose are inside the octagon, not during media moments. His focus is on staying professional and saving everything for fight night.
according to him, you know, he was going to say, oh, Dan's not going to keep the same energy when we run into each other and all this kind of stuff. I thought he'd say something to you or anything like that. Nothing.
I'm obviously not going to kick the shit out of him at the face-offs. I need the money. I want the money. I don't need the money. I would like the money. And you don't get paid for smashing them up at the pigeon tower. You get paid for smashing them up inside the octagon.
Dan pushes back on the idea that he must avoid all grappling, acknowledging that even his own past performances left room for improvement. He stresses that if Arman chooses a wrestling-heavy approach, he'll respond with his own grappling rather than running from it. He believes both will tire, but trusts his ability to fight effectively when exhausted, seeing fatigue as a battleground he's prepared for.
Yeah, I don't even think I fought that fight well either. Like that's the difficult part about it, is like if he comes to wrestle me and I'm 100% like I was too avoidant, even with the Gamrot fight, I was like too avoidant of the grappling. Like the hard part about grappling is when someone grapples you back, like he said, he's like, man, I'm gonna grapple him and make him tired. Yeah, you're gonna make me tired, but I'm gonna grapple you back and now we're both gonna be tired, brother. And there's one thing that I know full well is that I can fight when I'm tired. That doesn't really change it. Like no one's ever died from being too tired, but I'm sure they have.
In another recent interview, Dan reflects on the anticipation around this fight and the tension that has surrounded his interactions with Arman. With the matchup now imminent, the focus has shifted from emotion to opportunity. He is energized by the chance to step into the octagon and challenge someone currently seen as next for a title shot, seeing it as a moment to claim what he believes should be his.
All of that's kind of fading away now, like as the fight draws closer. Obviously we don't like each other, but a lot of that's just fading away as we draw closer. I'm just excited for the event. I'm excited for the moment. I'm excited to get out there and to just take it from him. He's the number one contender. He's the next in line for a title shot. I'm going out there to steal it. I'm going out to rob this man.
This challenge did not simply appear. Dan intentionally targeted it after his win over Mateusz Gamrot. He viewed Arman as the critical obstacle to validating his own claim to a title shot. By aiming to overcome the top contender directly, he hopes to leave no doubt about his place among the elite in the division.
That's why I called him out. That's why I pursued this fight. I've been getting asked all week. They're like, how did you feel when this fight came across your desk? It's like, bro, I flew to UFC Perth and I nagged Hunter Campbell and I nagged Sean Shelby to give me this fight. I said, please let me slap the shit out of this man. Let me I said, I know you guys don't like him either. I said, then let me get him out of the way. I said, I got rid of Gamrot. I said, now let me get rid of Arman and give me a damn title shot.
Dan understands Arman may rely heavily on grappling, but he sees this as a shared challenge that tests both fighters' endurance. On the feet, Dan believes he can exploit distance and timing where Arman is less at ease. He approaches the matchup thinking about stamina, composure under fatigue, and striking range, framing the fight as a contrast in style that fans can clearly follow.
That's the beauty of it. He's come out and said that he's going to wrestle and make me tired, but that's the beautiful thing about wrestling, is you're going to make both of us tired. Now we're just both tired, but there's one thing I can do, and that's fight tired. Obviously, if we're on the feet, we're at long range, there's nothing he can do about it. I feel like a chip away. Mid-range, he don't want a bar of that. So that's really either stay right out of distance or grab a hold of me. These are his only two options. But it's an easy fight for the fans to follow. Feet on ground, going good. Feet in the air, not going good.
Talking about the predictions, MMA Guru highlights Arman Tsarukyan's ability to control fights on the ground despite opponents having strong wrestling credentials. While Dan Hooker has improved his takedown defense, Arman's experience in maintaining dominant positions gives him a potential advantage if the fight hits the mat. Grappling exchanges may favor Arman in implementing control rather than just defending takedowns.
This is another painful one because Dan Hooker's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. But I'm going to go with Arman Tsarukyan here over Dan Hooker. I do think Dan Hooker's being underrated here because even though people say, the Gamrot fight was a robbery, it was a close fight that could have gone either way, really. Do I think Gamrot could have won and If Gamrot had Ov at the end of his name, he probably would have won based on the control time that he had. Let's just call it what it is. But Dan Hooker's really good at like stuffing He's a lot better at it than he was before when it comes to scrambling up from takedowns, but also with Gamrot.
Even when Arman faced opponents who technically out-wrestled him, he often capitalized on ground positioning to secure an advantage. Some opponents, though able to execute takedowns, struggled to maintain dominance or threaten with damage once on top. This perspective positions Arman as someone who can turn ground encounters into favorable situations.
Gamrot is really good at like pushing a pace of takedowns on someone that will get back up and then be taken down again and get back up and be taken down again. But when Gamrot actually gets someone on the ground, it's almost better for the fighter on the ground. Because it's not like Gamrot has really nasty ground and pound. It's not like Gamrot takes mount. It's not like Gamrot lands vicious elbows on top. He's shown it against Ludovic Klein in some moments.
The analyst notes that Hooker's recent injuries, including repeated arm issues, could influence his performance in high-pressure fights. Combined with Arman's consistent ability to impose positional control, this sets a context where Tsarukyan might continue his upward trajectory in the division. The fight is framed as a test of endurance, positional strategy.
I just think Arman is going to do big things with his dominant position. If you look at the way Arman, even though Gamrot out-wrestled Arman in their fight, Arman won that fight. You watch it back, you know Arman won that fight. But if you look at the way Arman was on the ground with Oliveira compared to Gamrot, it's almost like Gamrot got the takedown on Oliveira, and it was like, oh, this is bad for Gamrot. This is terrible for Gamrot that he got a takedown on Oliveira. Now he's stuck in these awkward positions. And even against Garam Kutsteledze, who's not got the best grappling in the world, it was the same thing for Gamrot earlier in his career.
And in conclusion, Arman Tsarukyan is riding a wave of momentum, combining sharp striking and strong grappling that make him a serious threat to Ilia Topuria, while also aiming to cement his position as a top lightweight contender. Dan Hooker brings confidence, experience, and endurance, ready to test Arman's skills and push the fights to its limits, showing he can perform under pressure even in grappling exchanges. Analysts are divided, with some favoring Arman's ability to dominate on the ground and control positions, while others recognize Dan's adaptability, toughness, and tactical approach, making this matchup unpredictable and highly compelling for fans.